Well, hello and welcome to this brief tutorial on the artificial neural network in machine learning, or ANML for short, in Excel. There are 6 activities to train this neural network, and they are, in these 6 boxes here, entering the training data, train the animal, training review. Item 4 is entering live data, animal analysis. Now, the animal analysis not only shows the animal analysis, but also shows the Excel analysis too. And finally, the animal's recommendations. Let's go into training data. Here we just enter the data that we can get from our domain. Now, the fact that they're white cells means the format that is, if anything in a white cell, it's user changeable. So you can change the pump count, temperatures, change the names, change the values, anything. Yeah, anything that's white you can change. So you enter that data, then we go back to click the top left hand corner, which is the flow menu, and we come back to the flow menu again. And now we click on item 2, which is training the animal. Now this is probably the most complex slide we have in this set. This is where we train the animal. We can go multiple routes through this slide. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 5. But basically, you get the idea. We can swap around. Initially, though, we set a weights and bias. We select a set. Doesn't matter which one. We can then A, B, or C, D. Then we can rerun with a different weights and bias, probability, whatever is set up there. And then we run the solver. This will go through about 10 epochs. And then we go into looking at the animal error. This is the error from predicted. We can then save those in different sets, A, B, C, D, to use at a different time. Or we can go into synaptic shrinkage. Let's go into synaptic shrinkage. All this is, we can set some of these the neurons to 0, set them to 0 occasionally, and then we can come back and run it all again. The aim is to mimic humans. Apparently, when we're little, child in arms, we start to recognize the importance of mum's face and parents' face, and so we recognize faces. And it is said that we recognize dogs' faces and sheep's faces because we realize that faces are important. But then we learn eventually that a dog's face and a sheep's face and all these differentiating between various sheep is not used and takes is not really profitable in an urban environment. And so we have something called synaptic shrinkage. So the neurons actually are switched off and are not used or repurposed. So that's what that synaptic shrinkage is, to mimic that in humans. Right, and then we run it and we get a current sets of weights and biases that we're happy with. We can choose up to 4 sets and just save them. Right, now we've done training the animal, and now we can go in training review. Let's have a look at the review, and this gives us the overview of the spreadsheet. All the graphs are spreadsheet driven. By that I mean we've got the temperature, battery voltage, power time, all this sort of stuff. Look at the power time, item 5. We can see there's quite a range there, standard deviation, if you like, and therefore that is represented in not just one particular thin, narrow line in the blue line in the center diagram. It is quite wide. They're all quite wide, which represents the band, the average of those in that particular area. And on the extreme right-hand side, the animal parameters, it shows us the neuron outputs, weights and bias selection, so we can see the two mechanisms there. Right, clicking on the flow menu again, we come back to enter live data. Now this is really complicated. Not. We just enter the parameters that we are interested in and we want analyzed, and that's all there is to it. After that, we then go into the analysis, the animal analysis, and you can see this overlaid on the training analysis. So the blue is the average profile from the spreadsheets, and the red is the today's profile from today's data. And you can see that there is quite a wide discrepancy in the battery voltage. We once again look at the powered time, the bottom one. Item number 5 on the middle left, we can see that item number 1 is blue. That is the average of all the training data. So it gives you what it says, an average. And on the central graph, you can see it is quite higher than the current red line. And if you go to item 5 again, the red is actually lower. So that ties up. So you can see where there is discrepancy at a range of out of the range of norm. That's what the spreadsheet says. And if we go to the extreme right hand side, where we have there will be an error shown. Weights and bias set, we'll choose A, B, C or D, and all the neuron outputs. And that is that. Now we can go back to the flow menu and we can select animal recommendations. What does the animal recommend? Okay, it recommends green. Although certain things were above or below norm, it doesn't matter. From pattern recognition mechanisms, from machine learning, it thinks it's all green, which is fantastic. That means we can carry on and everything is normal. If it wasn't, then we can have to go back and retrain or have a look or just start to analyze. It just gives us that analysis there. People are far better at recognizing patterns than machines. Maybe we're not as quick, but this gives us an idea. And it's in Excel, which I think is excellent. Yeah, sorry about that. If we click on the yellow pads there, we can see the neural network. 14 neurons, and we're using a jigsaw type of mechanism. So it's the same repeated pattern. So we've got that, and we just matter of copying and pasting. So it's quite easy in Excel to build up this neural network. The parameters have to be linked, but we have the synaptic shrinkage mechanisms, and we have the bias, the variable bias on each neuron as well. So everything is there, including the output, and it's all summed up and it does it. So this jigsaw, childlike jigsaw approach is certainly helped me in creating this rather than one massive spreadsheet, lots of figures, lots of numbers, lots of data, and no structure, visible structure, apart from the guy that created it. Sorry, person that created it. I think this jigsaw approach is quite good. You call it an animal jigsaw. Yeah, okay. Right. Going back to the flow menu, that concludes the 6-point analysis in this tutorial on artificial neural network in machine learning for Excel. We've gone through training data, training the animal, training review, entering live data, animal analysis, both Excel and neural network wise, and then the animal recommendation. Yeah, so there is also a help mechanism, which is more than just one button help. There's conceptual guidance, procedural help, analytical assistance, and technical support. I often think that we should separate help because sometimes you need conceptual guidance rather than just procedural help, and they all wrap it up into one. I think there's a whole mechanism in help that is being missed. But anyway, that will be there on the spreadsheet. Right, that's it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Much appreciated. And that concludes the artificial neural network and machine learning animal in Excel. Okay, cheers. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.